to the Lucky Ones podcast. I'm your host, Lucky Wood, and tonight we are joined by some of the fine minds behind some of our very talented, either up-and-coming or very well-known female athletes. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I'll just go alphabetical order so nobody can get upset by athlete. So, training up Miss Beth Dukes to start us off. We have Chuck Westbury out of Florida.
Yep.
Hello from the Jacksonville team. He also trains up his daughter Gracie, correct?
Well, really, neither one of them pull anymore. But the girls on my team now are Beth. Casey Martin is going to make a comeback this year, and I have a young girl, Emma Heck, who won nationals last year as a teenager and got second to Bethany Ritchie at nationals. So I've trained probably 20 or 30 girls over my time, but I always keep 2 or 3 on the team for sure. But Emma's a stud. She's definitely got it going on right now.
Emma Heck is
to be a young, less than a year and ward with Bethany Ritchie, it was crazy. Yeah.
Oh, and I know for a fact Bethany Ritchie ain't no joke.
Right.
Next up, we have Mr. Nathan Williamson out of Texas. He is the coach of Jocelyn Brisson. If you don't know who that is, you are living under a rock. So he has done a phenomenal job coaching her and working with her all the way to the East versus West stage. So thank you, sir, for joining us.
Three times.
We also have Mr. Adam Hoeing. He is a coach of the Port City Pullers, and he has a very young and rising rock star in a daughter, Miss Kennedy. I got to see her firsthand back in August. Killer on the table. But he also has the joy of having Deb Bannon, who is a 6-time world champion, and the rising star Kaden Marie also on his team as well. And then we have, last but certainly not least, Mr. Mike Nance out of Alabama, who coaches yours truly, Lucky Wood. So again, welcome, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks for having us, Lucky.
Of course. So, gentlemen, obviously, arm wrestling is something that you all are passionate about. Obviously, we know, and I don't have a problem saying it, it is definitely a man's world right now. So how are you guys feeling about kind of trailblazing and creating paths and ways for the ladies in arm wrestling?
That is a wild question, Lucky. You'd said it's a man's world. One of the things that we had just posted from our account is that we have 3 women in the Southeast arm wrestling rankings now, and not a single guy is up there. And so I was telling the lady or the guys at our team, man, we got to step up because these ladies are killing us in a big way.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Florida is we've always had several women. We had Sarah for a long time. I know she's kind of on hiatus right now. And so this year at the tournament I threw, Mayhem in Middleburg, we had Charity Messer come back after 5 years off and killed everybody. She beat Candy Passmore, and she beat my daughter. She beat Beth didn't arm wrestle that day because she had a pain. But yeah, pretty crazy, pretty absolutely incredibly strong women.
Very cool.
I was just going to say, I don't think we're trailblazing anything. I mean, a lot of women, you look at like Sweden, for example, Turkey, Kazakhstan. I mean, those women have been doing it for a long time. Like the Swedish team is by far the best female arm wrestling team on the planet. They're doing it themselves. I mean, if you think about it, like Catalina Pedersen, Victoria Carlson, Fiat Isaac, I mean, they all bounce off each other, right? So, I mean, I don't think we're blazing any trails. They kind of do it themselves, right? I mean, granted, you might give some guidance here and there, but it's up to them to choose the path and the trail they want to blaze.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, I was just saying, the Swedish have an advantage because it's actually offered as an elective in high school. They can start arm wrestling at 14.
Well, Kazakhstan, they have schools in Shidara City where they have selected times throughout the day where you have children in the mornings. I believe it's mornings, young men, young women in the afternoon, and then the seniors in the evening. So they
Right.
start at like 3 or 4 years old in Kazakhstan.
We've got a guy here in Huntsville that actually started pulling with us some, and he said that he had never been to a gym until he came to the U.S. that didn't have an arm wrestling table in it.
Huh.
Yep.
It's wild. The wild.
That's the dream right there.
Yeah,
People
it
also
is.
have to remember that but North America, that includes Mexico, Canada, the United States. It's not, the athletes aren't subsidized like they are in Europe, in
Right.
Asia, for example. So it's not going to be as prevalent here. So when we do get people into the sport, man or woman, it's imperative that we keep them. Whereas in Europe, they're always going to be putting out athletes and arguably the best athletes in the world.
It's not prevalent yet. That's the hope, is that we get to change that.
Well, the subsidizing over there, Lucky and I found out about that. We were in the World Police Firefighter Games, and the India teams, there were two separate teams. For every gold medal that they place in those games, it's $5,000 from the government.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, for every medal.
Yeah.
We didn't know that until
Counting up that potential winnings. Well, I think that segues us into a good question that was asked, actually sent in. How do you think that we can keep women interested in the sport, and how do we gain that traction amongst the ladies, either as coaches or as fellow athletes?
Well, as a coach, for me, it's been easy to get the girls. Keeping them is a whole nother thing, but it's just like adults too. The men, I feel like I'm the king of the dummies here in Florida because I've been arm wrestling for so long, and I feel like the average guy is 5 to 10 years he's in and out, right? I mean, on average, they start families, they do whatever, and women do that as well. I think that's the hardest part. I mean, that's what happened to my sister, right? She had kids, she had some health problems. She's been out for almost 10 years and then made her come back last year at Nationals. So in her heyday, she was the one for sure, her and her friend Casey. And now she's trying to figure out to come back as a master and still compete in the pros too. I don't think it's hard to get them here. I think it's hard to keep anybody in this sport that hurts so bad. Like you said, we're not subsidized. We're not. Everybody's got to have a job. So when my young guys went to Worlds, when it was in Vegas several years ago, I would tell them, I was like, "Listen, man, I was like, when you beat those guys, that's what they do for a living. They're feeding their family. So you're doing it as a hobby, and it's a big, big deal. So you just got to take it with your heart, and know you're working. That's what we're working off of. It's not nothing else. What is the 0.5% in the world get paid to arm wrestle?
So
So
I'll give you guys an example. So I've had the pleasure of sitting down with Fia Reisick, one of the best female arm wrestlers on the planet. At 70 kilos, there is nobody better. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Little known fact most people don't know is when Fia had her first child, she would go to arm wrestling practice with her child on her back and arm wrestle. She would hang the child off the hand peg and arm wrestle. That's how devoted you have to be to make it to where the elites are. And
absolutely,
I don't think people realize, like, Fia's a mom of two and she's done it with both children. Like, that's how devoted she is. So, like, it's a mindset. And you have to realize, like, yes, it's going to suck. And most people, when they get to their first practice, they don't go back because of the pain. Let's be honest. I don't think there's been a day since I've started I haven't had pain in my arms, but I also train like a madman. So if you get people over the initial hurdle and you don't have, like, unfortunately in this sport and in this world, there are a lot of creeps. And I have no issue calling out that. And you have men that look at women and like, oh, woman. and then they're gonna go be, lack of better terms, a dick, and then that pushes them out. And it's the God honest truth. So, like, it's easy to get people in. It's just like you said, it's hard to maintain those people. And
I
even
think it
men are
starts.
that way too.
Yeah, it's got to be culture, especially if we're the ones leading those teams, trying to facilitate that culture at the team. I think Nathan's absolutely right. You can't let any of that culture stand at all. Creeps, whatever you want to call them, just that can't be a part of the team culture. There has to be some kind of unity, kind of like a marching forward.
Well,
I think too.
it's not even at teams, right? And it's not so
Not
much
teams.
team.
I'm saying the
It's not
team.
team, and yeah, it's not even a
Yeah.
team environment, right? And I've never been to an arm wrestling team on the team specifically to have men and women where the men are being creepy towards women on their team. It's when you go to events and random people come up to them, and then that detracts them from wanting to go back. That's how I'm getting at it, because it
Got
happens
you.
all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Either way, I think so. If we're building that in our teams and we're doing that as a community, those are going to get weeded out. And I don't think we can speak to the 1%. That said, Thea bringing her baby to practice and
On
hanging
her
it on
back
the peg, that is
and on her back.
Unbelievable.
unbelievable. And
Yeah. That's
and I think that's something to shoot for, but we have to also say, hey, are we going after the 1%? Are we doing everything that we can to help get ladies involved just in general? And I think one of the things that I've noticed that ladies really like is other ladies at practices. Quite honestly, they love to have other ladies at practices. There's some kind of commonality there. And so just simply to answer your question, Lucky, right? This can go 100 different directions. I think other women to pull and learn with. We've been so lucky to have ladies like Deb Banyan, Katie Marie there to teach a lot of our younger women how to pull safely, what to expect, all of those things. Maybe even what to expect at some tournaments like Nathan was talking about.
And I think it goes to the tournament too. When you get to the tournament, like for me, I no charge for the women, but they want to win the money too, and they want the nice trophy too. And it's hard. It is hard as a promoter to make sure you have the money to cover all that, all that kind of stuff when they're not putting money back into it. But that's what brings them. Like for me this year, I think I had 8 women in my tournament, which is big for us.
I will argue that point with you there, because I did a lot here in Texas to bring in super matches for women and payouts for women, and nobody showed up.
Yeah.
So I mean, I have done I mean, especially here in Texas, we've done. I mean, look at Texas State. It's a $500 payout to the women for first place.
That's huge. Yeah, that's huge.
And last year, 3 women showed up in each weight class.
Crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
So to say it's payouts and stuff like that, I have to argue with you on that, because, like I said,
no. I only pay out 100, right? I only pay out 100, but I did have some.
Texas, yeah, you can come to Texas State
Yeah.
and win $1,000 if you pull both weight classes, and 3 women showed up in each weight class. So I don't think it's a money issue whatsoever. I mean, it used to be, I think a lot of people cherry pick the events they want to go to. And this is both sides of the fence. I think a lot of people are scared to take a loss. And that's men and women.
Absolutely.
Because they're like, oh crap, who's going to be there? Oh, I don't want to pull that person because they're going to beat me and I'm not going to get a medal. So what? You're going to learn a lot more from losing than you are from winning. You're going to learn your weaknesses. You're going to learn your strengths. Like
the newer generation too. I have guys who will only practice and won't go to a tournament for that reason. I 100%. They don't want to lose in front of people, but they'll only practice, and that blows my mind.
Like I said, I said that's both sides of the fence. That's men and women.
I get it.
You know what I mean? Like I said, I will argue the payout thing and the weight class thing and stuff like that. Like, there's 2 weight class. Typically in North America, there's 2 weight classes. Yes. But also, like, I know events, and I've been a part of events where we said, okay, here's our standard weight classes, 54, 55 plus. If there are enough women that show up that are under the 54, so 43, 32, whatever you want to call it, we'll build a weight class specifically for them. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. But the ones that chirp the loudest for that weight class, they don't show up.
Right. I get it.
You know what I mean? So I mean, I think that's one of the biggest issues in hands is like, people don't want to travel. I think that's a big thing too. Like if we look at stuff, um, it's in October. I can tell you when Texas State is. It's in El Paso, Texas this year, and it will be Oct- November. Sorry, it's November. November 15th, El Paso, Texas. There you go. So like if women want to win $500 a weight class, left and right handed, so you have a chance if you win left hand and right hand, you can take home 2 grand. Like there's not too many other tournaments in North America that I can think of where the women can
I'm
take
not
home
gonna,
$2,000.
Yeah, not at all.
Nathan, I'm just gonna say there's a big asterisk you're leaving out.
What's that?
Huh?
What's that?
Who your Texans are?
Who says they're going to be there?
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
I mean, you, you don't know if they're going to be there unless you show up and see, right? Like,
I will say though that I think that was part of the thing though too was when you promoted the other one, they were promoted as this one's going to be in this class, this one's going to be in this class.
no, it was never put that way actually.
Okay.
So I promoted it as they were going to be there, come grip up with, you know what I mean, the two
Yeah.
number one ranked females in North America. If
Right.
women would have showed up, and I had discussed this with all three competitors, is what people don't understand is they weren't going to pull the tournament.
I gotcha.
They were just going to pull their super matches and be done.
Okay.
And when nobody showed up, they
Right.
pulled the tournament. I mean, because they had nothing else to do, right? So
Right.
we had one other lady show up, and unfortunately, her husband ended up tearing the short head of his bicep, so she had to take him to the hospital. Hey, all credit to her. She showed up and was going to pull everybody. She wanted to pull everybody. So
Right.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I did what I could for the central event to try to attract women, and
Right. Yeah.
I
No,
couldn't
that's
do any more. I mean,
right. Right, and I think that's just one of those things is you see a flyer or you see XYZ and I just I thought it was great as far as like making people aware of the event and also getting ladies there. I just don't. It obviously did not have the response that anybody was hoping.
no, and like unfortunately, I think a lot of events that year, like you will get the outliers like yours that had 8 women. That's phenomenal. Like that's great, and we need more of that. Like Ottawa Open will be another one where there'll be significant turnout for women, but people in Canada travel. People in the U.S. tend to not travel. That's a problem that I see, and that's on both sides of the fence. That's on the women's side and the men's side. Like I'm not like targeting one side here.
For sure. All right. Well, let's spin it a little bit. What do you think is something that kind of surprised you about coaching ladies in the sport?
I got to grab a water. Y'all go ahead.
Go ahead.
Adam.
Something that surprised me about coaching ladies in the sport. I don't know. I hate generalizations in general. I don't love them. For some of our younger pullers, I'll say our female pullers are for sure more attentive. They are very coachable. So I don't know that it necessarily surprises me. And again, I don't love generalizations, but I think that is a distinction that at least I have noticed on our team a little bit. Probably has to do with maturity in a lot of ways. But Kennedy, for example, she takes it very, very serious. And I think she gleans that from Deb. If you've ever gripped up with Deb on the practice table, if you've ever seen her at a practice, she is focused, 100% focused. And she teaches that focus to our younger athletes and older athletes alike. So I don't know if that answers the question, but that's what I got.
No, I love it. Definitely.
I mean, I can speak for Joss. Like the thing that I noticed instantly with working with Joss is she has an amazing strength base. So it was never going, okay, we need to just make you stronger. She's already arguably one of the strongest. She's the strongest woman in North America, like especially on the arm wrestling table. But not only that, from her bench numbers to her squat numbers to her deadlift numbers, she's just an absolute animal, right? For her, it was doing the specifics. And like the thing I love about her is she is an absolute workhorse. If I say, I want you to like, the thing people have to understand about the way I program, like especially with workouts, like we're going to have 2 max effort days a week and we're going to have 2 RPE days a week. Like you're going to work your ass off and you're going to do 5 to 7 workouts a day at your time in the gym. That's what you're going to do. And with her, I can be like, I want this. She sends me videos, she sends me her numbers, and she's going to do the work. And that's after working a 10-hour day. And at work, she's going to go to the gym. She's going to put in the time. She's going to do what I program for. And I mean, yeah, she may cuss at me and call me an asshole, but she's going to do it. And then like, if she does something and I'm like, yeah, I don't like that. The form was bad. I'll get some choice words, but then she'll do it again with the form that I want. So like, she's just an absolute animal, and she's very coachable and very receptive to different things. So
Yeah, for me, I don't think like you said, I don't think it's a surprise. I thought the women are easier to coach. I think they're very coachable. And it's got a lot to do with the men have watched it on YouTube or whatever before they ever even get to me. Before they ever come to their first practice, they'll come and say, I train just like Devin or Cobra Rhodes or whatever. And I'm like, you don't. There's one Devin Larrett. You're not him. Just don't. Let's figure out where you're strong. No, I can do this. I can do that. Never had one woman tell me that at all. And our whole goal is be great at one move and be good at all of them, right? So let's figure out what you're good at now and let's make it great, and then we'll make everything else better in the long run. So, and that's kind of how I do it, and so far it's worked. But yeah, for me, the women are just way more coachable. They listen a little better, little less ego involved. So
a lot less ego.
Lots of ego.
There's not. There's the word little and ego does. It's a lot less ego.
Yeah. So, and for us, like for me tomorrow night, like last Thursday, I think we had 4 women and 28 guys at our practice. So, and I just kind of, I spend one day a week to work on me on the table. And then at practice, I help all them. And it's just and I guess it's my age now too. I don't want to kill myself no more, so 50's hurt.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Mike, anything to add?
Oh, for me, I mean, Lucky just listens to everything I tell her. She never argues about anything.
Liar.
100%. When I tell her to do something specifically, she's never looked at me and said, I'm going to go with what I know and then get her butt kicked in that match because she didn't know.
This is falsified documentation. This is supposed to
be. Honestly, when I started training Lucky, I don't know, Chuck, I've been around 33 years. I've trained, I don't know, 100, 150 guys, but Lucky's the first. I've helped with women like Mackenzie Redmond, people like that. I've helped with them. But as far as training long term, Lucky's the first lady I've trained. And she's very intelligent, and I'll give her the big head. She soaked it up like a sponge. She had a powerlifting background. Usually powerlifters for me, first thing I'm going to do is work on their hand and wrist because they're almost always weak hand and wrist because they're so used to using straps. With Lucky, she had a good hand and wrist, so she had a good base to start with. So it was a lot easier. Plus, like I said, she was really dedicated to it. She jumped in 120%, and she listened.
Absolutely.
Sort of.
So you guys do more. So if I'm understanding, just because I don't want to just assume anything. So basically, you guys do more table time stuff like that in that regard instead of like programming stuff for the gym.
That's exactly what I do. I tell everybody if they want tips, they could go with me to the gym. I'll show them what I do at the gym to help arm wrestling.
Yeah.
But we have so many people. I don't write up workouts for them or nothing. But if they ask, I help them all I can. But absolutely, it's table time twice a week in Jacksonville.
And honestly, with people starting out, that's the best thing, right? Like, if
Sure.
people are asking me, like, oh, what should I work on? Well, get on the table. Like, you're going to gain strength on the table. But then if they're like, okay, what can I do in the gym? My answer is do pull-ups,
Yeah.
neutral grip pull-ups, like do
Yeah.
heavy negatives, do partials, do
Climb the rope.
yeah. I mean, there's so many things you can do from an arm wrestling perspective in a commercial gym. Like I mean, like when I travel, I have to use commercial gyms, obviously. There's stuff you can do. You don't need an
Mhm.
arm wrestling table to get stronger at arm wrestling. Like there's a lot of different things. Like
Now, my sister and my daughters, when I trained them, I mean, they're my sisters and daughters. They were with me a lot, and so, but my sister she's 10 years younger than me. I started when I was 25. She was 15. By the time she was 20, she was a WAF champion. Um, but like Lucky, she had the base. She had strength. We just had to fine tune everything. And as her muscles matured, then she killed it. And my daughters the same way. They were probably like your daughter. My daughters were born into it. I was arm wrestling when they were born, so they were having to do that stuff from the day they were born. So by the time my youngest was 13 at IFA Worlds in Orlando, and she won.
that was 2021, right?
Yep, she won the 15 and younger, third in the 18 and younger, and second in the 21 and younger when she was 13 years old. So, she's not an active arm wrestler though, but she was then, and she was till she was probably 16, and now she's there's boys on the brain. They're teenagers. They might come back to it. Who knows?
Like I said, I just wasn't sure. That's why I was asking.
Yeah,
'Cause
2021.
like, yeah, because like for Joss, right? Like we get table time when we can get table time. But mainly right now, I mean, obviously, when I'm around her, we're always on the table working technique, and strengthening those, and obviously strategy. But like at the same time, like programming for her is like mainly what I'm doing at this moment. Like I have stuff for years, like of what we're going to be doing. Like, okay, this week, and like I do my stuff in month blocks, right? Like everything's a month block, and then we go to another month and another month and another month. So like for her, it's just here, do this, and then like obviously, then it's learning to uh um tapering. Like you have to learn. I don't know how much you guys do with your athletes when it comes to tapering, but tapering into an event to where you are your strongest is absolutely adamant for those. Like for example, like leading into the Sarah Backman match. What most people don't know about Joss leading that match is 2 months out from that match, he couldn't hammer curl a 20-pound dumbbell on her right arm because of damage in her brachial or brachioradialis. But so then it was my job to go, okay, how can we work around this to figure out what we can do to get stronger in the areas we need to get stronger for Sarah. And obviously what I planned worked. So, and she went in there and beat Sarah 3-0.
Yeah.
So, and then after that, we were offered EGLA in Chicago in June, in which case Ingen then turned it around and we had 3 weeks to prep for EGLA. So we went from having 8.5 weeks to prep for EGLA to 3 weeks. So then I had to scramble to figure out what the hell we were going to do for 3 weeks after taking 2 weeks off from rehab. So like like for me, there's a lot that goes into it. Like I'm gonna watch the opponent. I'm gonna look at this. I'm gonna look at that. I'm gonna taper you here. I'm gonna taper you there. Like for me, it's a science. Like the biomechanics of movements, how to make you stronger in this movement without having to do this or that or work around an injury.
Well, you're
For me,
coaching
it's
an
science.
elite too. You're coaching an elite. You have to be on that level, and you're doing a great job at it. I mean, she's the one for sure. My sister was pushing elite, but she wasn't what Jocelyn is now, but she was very,
Yeah,
very good in her day.
yeah, she's a unicorn. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and like for me, that's why I said for me it's easy. I'm like, hey, do this. Okay, you did no, send video. Okay, that's terrible. Do it again this way. So like, and like even with me, like Like I can equate to like training people that come to our practice, right? Like tonight was practice. And for me, Wednesday nights are not, I don't pull hard. Today's my max effort side pressure day. But I go through technique about how to do this safely, how to do that safely and stuff like that. So like there's variables to doing everything regardless of who you're working with. And even like Danny Gilliam, I'm sure you guys know that name. Like I train Danny Gilliam, so I still have to taper Danny into stuff, and he trains with me 3 days a week. So like I have to do the same stuff with him. I'm constantly bouncing. My brain's constantly going, okay, Danny's got this person coming up, so I got to do this. Jocelyn's got this coming up, I got to do this, and then this person's got this, and this person's got this. So like I'm like a yeah, I like a hamster on a wheel, pretty much.
What about you, Adam? I mean, training your daughter, are you kind of more table time?
Yeah, we are. So one of the things, especially with junior athletes like that, like their growth plates are still moving, right? And so arm wrestling is a violent sport on the body. It just is. We don't do anything with spinal load compression at all, squats, things like that. But even her arm wrestling time, and then I have a son, 12-year-old boy. For both of them, just because they're still growing, we have kind of seasons that we have for them that we allow them to pull. And then in the off season, we allow them to do some different things just during this time. But a lot of it is table time. And then they supplement that out in the garage, tons of neutral grip pull-ups. I love that. Tons of neutral grip dips. We work on some strap setup, just very technical things out there one-on-one in the garage as well. And things that aren't going to put a load on their joints, bones. And so, yeah, that is kind of how we handle that. But in their training regime, when they are on, they're on. And so even then it's mostly table time, I would say, and then we dial back some of the stuff back in the gym, out in the garage, hammer curls, pull ups, blah blah blah.
Oh yeah.
Mike makes programs for me, but we also do a lot of table time when we get together. So definitely,
I mean,
improvement.
I mean, yeah, table time is adamant. I don't care what level you are. Like, you're never like, Danny's been pulling 40 years, and we still do like today's a table day, Sunday's a table day. We still do table time twice a week. Now, Wednesdays aren't hard. Sundays we go harder, but we're never super going max effort usually. Now there are days like every 2 weeks we go. All right, we're gonna nut up. We're gonna go. Like we're gonna go hard. And I think you need that, especially for this sport, to build the tendons, to build the bone, to, you know what I mean? Like, whether people think it or not, you're always building microfractures within the humerus. You're building microfractures everywhere. You're tearing tendons, you're tearing muscle. And how do you build muscle? Well, you tear the muscle. It breaks down. You do work. You eat right, you do everything, you hydrate, you do, all the essential things to rehab, like to strengthen it, And I feel like, I don't know about you guys, but I find a lot of people, and this goes for women and men in general, they overlook rehab. So I work out 7 days a week, 7 days, twice on Wednesdays, twice on Sundays. Uh, so I do 4 heavy days, 2 days on the table. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays, gym days, Wednesday, table day, Sunday is table day. But every day is a workout day. By that I mean rehab. Like nobody's too good for rehab. Do you want to be longevity's key, right? Flexibility is key. Like, do you want to heal? Tendons have very minimal blood flow. How do you heal a tendon? You force blood into a tendon. Okay, I have a tear in the muscle. Okay, how do I force that? Force blood into it. Like it's basic anatomy. Like do your rehab. Grab a band. Do your rehab. Nothing heavy. Hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of reps.
Yeah.
Like
Yep. Yeah.
how do you want? Like that's the only way. Like for me, how do I train heavy 4 days a week and do table time twice a week? I do a shitload of rehab.
Yeah.
And absolutely, and that's 7 days a week is rehab day.
Yeah.
So
I think that's where we miss a lot of the people too. So, at the beginning we had just talked about the intentionality and people that are really focused in the sport and are not. A lot of that stuff takes time, right? And so if you're not committed to rehabbing, like Nathan had said, you're going to come to that first practice, second practice, first month practice, whatever, and you're going to hurt so bad that it's just going to turn you off to the sport. So there, we do have to build in our athletes for sure the necessity of rehab and taking time off. 100%. Couldn't agree more.
and like you have to like especially for younger people, right? I look at somebody like Et Manchada. Her parents are all in. She's coached by Giannis as well. She just took second at WAF Worlds on the left. Probably would have took second on the right, but it's had something unfortunate happen. They're all in on her, and for her too, it's like diet's important. Like people don't understand. Your body needs protein. Eat your protein, people. Your
Track
body
your
needs
protein.
this.
Track your macros. Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't necessarily track mine. I know that I need to eat 200 grams of protein a day. I track as long as I hit my 200 grams, I'm happy. That's what I
Right.
need. Uh, but I don't track my carbs and stuff like that. I'm like, oh crap, I need to lose weight for a tournament. Cut carbs, do this. Uh, but until then, like hydration's key. Your body needs hydration. You're built. You're made up of a lot of water. Like, and that's like so, especially for the younger athletes. Like the U13, the so for me, I'm not a big like when they say U18, like legally you're adult. Like the U21 class, okay. At that point, you should know what you're doing. Uh, but like the U15, U18 class, anything younger than that, like getting them understanding that diet is important, hydration's important, rehab's important, so on and so forth. It's kind of key. You know what I mean? So like that is something I would preach. I mean, I preach it to everybody. Like there's people on my team. I'm like, what? I haven't seen you drink water in 6 months. Oh, I don't like water. Well, okay. Well, that's why you're hurting all the time, or that's why you feel like crap.
It's good.
As I sit here and drink 2 liters in front of you guys. So, so
All right, so I'm gonna give you this question first because you've been doing a great job of leading off the answers here tonight. So, if you could design the perfect support system for female arm wrestlers, what would it look like?
who me?
Adam, and then you can answer.
Oh, all right, go for it.
The perfect support system for female arm wrestlers. I would say that their parents and or guardians are involved for sure. That they are taking an interest and that they have a level of buy-in. So speaking for obviously the younger generation, I think speaking for the older generation, just my wife has to be bought in for me. And if she was to actually the things that she loves, man, I want to own that right with her. And so there has to be that commonality. Arm wrestling's hard. Like we had already talked about, we're not getting paid the stipends that a lot of other countries are. And so it costs money to travel around. It costs money to compete, right? Like all of us, I'm sure, maybe, I don't know. I have spent way more money competing than I've ever earned back, right? And I don't think that's going to change. And so start with the support system. I think it's their family. And then I think it is a solid team, a solid coach, right? Who understands the fundamentals, rehab, taking time off, training, who's teaching them proper safety techniques. And then a group, I'm going to say a group of ladies, like-minded ladies who can kind of work together and pull in the same direction. I think maybe that's not a perfect answer, but I think that's a great start at least. So
Y'all go ahead. I'm grabbing another water. I'm dehydrated.
I'll go next then. I agree with everything you said. And going back to the coach part, I think you have to coach everybody different too. Even football, right? Like if you play football, you have a timid guy that you can't scream at his face and tell him to get with the program. You got one that you need to talk to, but the next guy only gets motivated if you're screaming at him. So you got to kind of know your people, right? I just did it at King of Florida a week ago. I told my guy, I was like, he had his first loss. And I was like, we are not going to lose no more. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. And he responded, right? He did well after that. But I think it's knowing your people, and that's part of being a good coach. Absolutely. Everything else is right on the younger generation. You need your family, older people, whether it's your husband, your boyfriend, your brother, your sister, whatever. If you got a support group, period, it's all good. Because I have guys on my team who's like, their parents might have never watched them play a sport in their life, So when they seen my parents come at 50, they're like, wow, that's pretty neat, And my parents are all about it still because me and my sister and my kids all did it, So yeah, that's big stuff though. Your turn,
After you,
Nathan.
sir. I know. After you, sir.
Mike.
No, I agree with Chuck. I think that everybody should be trained individually, their own
Yep.
style. That's why Lucky knows because I trained her first day. Just get up there, blow through me 50 times. I want to see what you do, what's natural to you. We play off that, perfect that. But at the same time, we build all the other areas.
Absolutely.
I'm going to say something y'all might not like, but I think a lot of people get into this community thing and that, like, you need people to train with. You need somebody to guide you. But I think a lot of, like, people have to remember this is an individual sport and it is a combat sport. Your coach, your support team is not on that table with you. So you got to get into that mindset to realize, like, there's going to be times when people say not nice things. There's going to be times when you're like, this sucks. I want to quit. And it comes down to you, right? Like, you need to be your biggest supporter. It doesn't, like, for the younger kids, yeah, you're going to have your family and stuff like that. But for anybody that's older, you better be your biggest supporter. You better be believing in yourself more than anybody else because it's you up there. It's you versus that other person. And no matter what you've done in the past, what you've trained, what you've done, you're going to default to what you know. And that's why I said you better believe in yourself and you better be your biggest supporter. Because even with Joss, like, I can support her, I can follow her, I can be up in her corner for every match she ever has. She still better believe in herself more than I believe in her. She better be her biggest supporter. And that's the God honest truth for anybody. Like, this isn't a team game. There's
So
not
as a
five on
coach,
a team.
how do you build up that confidence and that
It's this spot. It's this spot between your ears. It's this 6 inches between your ears. You got to go into that mindset. Like, it doesn't matter what anybody else says. It doesn't matter what anybody else does. I'm going to be my biggest fan. I'm going to believe in myself more than anybody else. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, and some people got it, some don't. It's just that simple. Some people have that drive to where they can work a 10-hour day and go to the gym and slave it out because they have the drive. Some people won't do that. Like, it just comes down to that. It's individuality. That's why I said your support system, if you're like a youth, yeah, cool. You got your mom, you got your dad, you got your brother, you got your sister. But if you're somebody that's older and you're an established bowler, you're your biggest support group. Like, it's just, like I said, like, I train with a team. Cool. They help me get stronger. Yes, on the table. But when I go up on there, it's me. It's not them. They can't pull the match for me. That's why I said you got to be, this spot between here better be rock when you get up there. So you better be, like I said, you better believe in yourself more than anybody else. So you're your biggest supporter.
all right, Chuck, you get to answer first this time.
Okay.
I got two final ones to close this out. But what was your proudest moment as a coach with one of your female athletes?
For me, it was when my daughter won Worlds. Well, that was, I teared up for that one. Hell, I've been pulling 20 years and I've never won Worlds, and she did it like her third time out. So, of course, for me, that was the big one. Beth doing everything she did, but this year, me and Beth both won nationals at the same time. That was a big one too. We've never done that before, So, for
sure.
me, for me, that was the really, really cool stuff. And that's probably it, but those are big. You do it with your daughter and your sister. I mean, what more could you ask for?
Right.
No, 100%. I agree with that.
Adam?
What was my proudest moment?
Yeah.
Man, one of the things I'll speak to Kennedy. I'm most intimate with coaching her. Is she gets right back on the table, win or loss. She is so determined, and so I don't know that I've had one. She does great at tournaments. She's killed it. I think her competitive drive and willingness to get back up again over and over and over again. She has a 12-year-old brother. He is huge. He just beat a grown man for the first time, 40-something-year-old grown man. He's a 12-year-old boy up in Virginia. It was insane. That said, they arm wrestle all the time, and Kennedy was on the winning side of that and started as he grew to. Man, it started to get more even, and it's still very, very even now. I'd say Jack probably has the upper hand. She will just drive him nuts. Come out to the garage. Let's go. Let's get on the table. Let's go. So I love that about her.
Well, that goes right back to like I was saying, right? Like the people you either have the drive or you don't. It's very evident she has it. Like she wants to
Absolutely.
go, 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 which is great, right? So, and again, after you, sir.
Mike.
Oh, is he talking to me?
Yeah, you're the
I
only
said
one left
after you.
besides him.
I said after you, sir.
Proudest moment with Lucky.
PG, Mike. PG.
Honestly, it's every next match. She just had a right hand win against Scarlett. First time she's ever beat Scarlett right handed. I'm never more than she can always hear my voice. I know you're talking about this as an individual sport. She'll tell you there's never a second on that table she don't know where I'm at.
No, I'm not saying that. Like she hears your voice, which is huge, right? But what I'm saying is you're giving her instruction, but you can't pull for her.
There's never a second she's on that table that I'm not watching every motion she's making and telling her what to correct continuously. And when she went back up there on her second and third match with Scarlett and had wars because she changed up, she did what she needed to. That's what I'm proud of. Every time she goes up and she improves, I'm proud.
I did see that match for Scarlett.
Yeah,
That was a good match.
Well, if you broke down the 4 matches they had, there was literally Scarlett won 1, Lucky won 1, and they had 2 wars.
I'd rather have than like in a super match. A war is always awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd rather see a war than 3-0.
It was 1-3 Scarlett side, but that was a match Scarlett won. There was a match that Lucky won, and there were 2 wars in the middle. And I love that.
For sure.
Came back on left.
I mean,
always come back on left.
I do always come back on left.
That's good.
For me, Joss would have beat Sarah Bachman. She beat her without coaching and never arm wrestling training the first time in that round robin. Like, had never done any arm wrestling specific. So, would she beat Sarah again? Yeah, she would have. With me coaching, without me coaching, she would have. But honestly, like, for me, it's not that she's pulled Egla. It's not that she's pulled Gabby. It's none of that. Like, she's done all that on her own. Like, I just give a little, here, try this, here, try this. But I take zero credit for anything she's done. Zero. She puts in the work. She does the time. She's the athlete. I'm happy being behind the curtain, and that's me though. I don't I'm proud of the growth she's made over the year we've been training together, from where she started to where she is now. But when it comes to earning where she's gone, that's all her. Not me. No. I didn't pull those matches for her. I didn't put the time in for her. She did that work. So for me, I'm just glad she's went from point A to point B and how she's evolved.
Mhm. All right. So, final question that I have for you gentlemen, and it could be possibly a two-parter, or it could be one. What are you looking forward to with your athlete next, and how can we support your athlete with their next steps?
Joss is at WAF World. She pulls Saturday on the left and Monday on the right. So those would be on the World Arm Wrestling Federation YouTube page. You can go watch that. So we'll see.
Wish her the best on that. That'd be awesome.
Go ahead, Adam.
Man, I'd say to support, let's keep building the sport, getting the ladies involved, right? Like the more that there are, the more that will be involved. And I'd say the next thing for Kennedy is I don't think we're not going to pull again until January at Camel City Classic in Winston-Salem. So I think we're going to, Ted's so great down there. I think he's going to set up some junior divisions. And then after that, it'll be Body Armor State Games, North Carolina. So
I have a question. I actually have a question for you with your daughter. Does she have world aspirations?
I have told her, she has asked, Dad, how good am I just for real? And I said, if you stick with it, you absolutely could be. You could
Because like the U15 division would be a division obviously for her, but also the Ottawa Open would be a great tournament for her. Is the reason I say that is Eric Rusin does a phenomenal job at setting up. They have the junior division on Sunday, so Saturday is the Open and Masters classes. Sunday is the junior divisions, and that's a massive turnout there. So that would be something I would say if she wants to see where her level's at. That would be a tournament I would recommend to you because that will give her a very good gauge.
Appreciate that, Nathan.
Well, for me, my number one puller right now is Emma Heck, and she's going to do these local tournaments, but she's probably going back to IFA Nationals next year, and we have Tokyo on the bullseye for Worlds, so next year. Not sure what's going to happen, but she's in the mix, so we're just got to keep training and see where she goes with it from there.
Definitely.
Mike, your turn.
Thanks, Chuck. Chuck's gonna be my co-host.
Yeah, I think what the next two things we've got is our tournament next month in Virginia.
Yeah.
And then the Ottawa Open in November.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, we shall
That'll
see.
be. Yeah, that's it. Yep.
Yep.
Go try to get a bison.
Yes, that's. We'll see who.
I know Joss is.
Learn.
I know Joss is competing there on the right.
She is.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, she'll be competing on the right there.
Now they do kilogram classes there, like nationals and worlds, don't they? They don't.
No. So
it's
for
three-way
the
classes
men,
for the ladies.
Classes there.
Yeah. So for like men, it's I think there's a 50 class, a 65, an 85, 205, 225, stuff like that. And then there's 3 women's classes. But for the junior divisions, they do a very good job at setting up classes for the juniors.
Like, Adam, I can send you
2025.
You're interested in looking at it. Cool.
Appreciate
What'd you say, Mike?
I said it's 2025. I can identify as a junior.
I don't think you can, Mike.
You're too decrepit.
Gray off. Come on.
You are way too decrepit for that.
Oh shit.
You probably still lose.
so there's a youth division that is as well. So yeah, so that's a good thing.
Don't be controversial on my page. Jeez.
Oh, and the one thing I will say that Eric does too, if you're not a Canadian and you do win your class, he will pay your way into your national as well.
Yeah.
So it does give it like everybody's like, oh, well, I'm not Canadian. Well, Eric still makes sure to do a very good job for the North American, for the U.S. athletes that want to go up there. So
Eric is a living, breathing encyclopedia of knowledge of arm wrestling. You can ask him who won the nationals in Bulgaria in 1902, and he'll tell you.
So your daughter's how old, right? Your daughter's 12.
No, his son's 12. His daughter's 14.
14. Yeah.
Okay, so they have two weight classes for them. I don't know what your daughter weighs, but they have a 0 to 30 and a 31 plus.
Kilogram.
No, pounds.
No,
And then if she wanted to pull the girls 16 class, she could pull the 0 to 150 pounds. So there's options, right? So, like I said, I don't know what your daughter weighs. I'm not going to ask you what your daughter weighs because that's a young lady and that's her personal business how much she weighs. So, uh, and that's a good way to get slapped by if you ask a lady how much they weigh. So, but yeah, there are options, like I said, for something like that in the future if that's something, like I said, she wanted to do. So,
Yeah.
well, and I have
Appreciate
found
it.
Adam just as a female puller in this sport and knew myself that the Canadians definitely pull different than the Americans. And so that's the main reason why I'm going is because I really just want to get the experience of being on the table more. So I've experienced them both at both Michigan States and the Arnolds when I was there. And I mean, I learned so much about.
and the round robin, you pulled Jocelyn.
Shh, we don't talk about that.
Well,
But yes, we do. So actually, that's kind of the joke right now between Jocelyn and I is 18 months
and
later, I'm gonna get
and
her at the
Rose, and you
Open.
pulled Angie Rose. That's two
I did,
Canadians.
but I
Yeah,
tell Angie all the time
I
that I would consider her a Canadian. Huh?
said, but Angie apologized to you after she beat you.
And that's why I always consider Angie Canadian. I tell Angie, as long as you say thank you after the match every time, you're Canadian. You're not an American. So, but no, yeah. So yeah, round robin. Thank you, Nathan. Yeah, and then Michigan and Arnold, and learning from those matches and rewatching those matches just helped me immensely with my growth so far and getting better and in my setup and also manipulating during the match. So
What?
I love that. We've been to Michigan State games twice. Nebraska, Iowa, traveled around a bit. Ottawa might be a stretch this year. That's something that we'll definitely look into for next year. But Arnold is also on the map, being that she qualified for that.
I know I still have to bully Chris into doing a juniors because we have 2 teen ladies that qualified already. And with the Ottawa Open, there's going to be a bunch more that qualify as teens. So
So I don't know. This year, the Swedish women didn't make it out to Arizona, uh, but I think next year they are going to be there. So that will be an opportunity for some women in North America if they choose to travel to Arizona. Now, don't quote me. I said they might be there and get on the table with, because usually it's Fia that comes, Catalina Pedersen, and Victoria Carlson. So you'll have a chance to grip up with 3 of the best female arm wrestlers on the planet. I mean, Fia, think about it. Fia's X-time world champion is the only 2 division left and right hand champion, East versus West. Carlos pulled for the title there. Vicky's a podiumer at Worlds and Euros. So, like, it's good to learn from them.
definitely. Well, very cool. Well, gentlemen, I really appreciate your time this evening and just the knowledge and the bragging that y'all did on y'all's athletes. Obviously, as females in arm wrestling, we really look for opportunities to continue to grow our sport, and we thank you for your work and what you're doing to help make that happen. So, thank you again for joining us this evening. You all are welcome back anytime. Celebrate your athletes. Send your athletes our way. Love to spotlight them as well too. So
Thank you, Lucky.
Anything else you want to say?
Sorry, I'm just looking. I'm just reading the chat.
Thanks, Lucky.
Yeah, you're good. Of
All
course.
right.
All right. Well, y'all have a
Well, I mean, that can I address that comment really quick?
go for it,
Going
Nathan.
to going to any worlds is expensive. It doesn't matter if you're going to IFA or WAF. Like you're going to if you're going to Baku, Azerbaijan this year, for example, for IFA, like you're looking at $1,700 round trip ticket based on where you're flying out of. So it's not. I mean, both aren't cheap.
Right.
Like going to Worlds, regardless if it's IFA or WAF, is going to cost you multiple thousands of dollars, and it's an investment in yourself. So I encourage everybody to go. If they go to WAF, cool. If they go to IFA, cool. But like, get out there and get international experience. It's the only you need to touch as many hands as possible. So
Agreed.
All right, guys. Nice to meet y'all.
Yep, you take care.
later.
All right.
All right.
You see ya.
Y'all have a great
Thanks again,
night.
Lucky.
No problem.